Okay, so this Wanderlodge, he just recently bought it a couple months ago. And the first thing he did is he took it to the shop, get the oil changed. And then he thought it's really down on power. He took it to another shop to look at that, Detroit Diesel Authorized Factory Service Center, big shop, lots of bays, you know, truck dealership, all that kind of stuff. They had it there for a month and a half and charged him for 18 hours of diagnostics and couldn't find anything wrong with why it didn't have power. So he paid over $2,000 in labor for them to diagnose absolutely nothing. They couldn't find anything wrong with it. You know, we found multiple things wrong within 15 minutes on it. Their paperwork said that they had done something. Well, it doesn't say they actually did it. There wasn't a complete breakdown of the list that I saw, but it said things like, tomorrow we're going to remove the inspection plate covers and inspect the cylinders. We're going to remove the exhaust manifold. I don't see that the exhaust manifolds were removed. If they were, they didn't put new gaskets back on them. They reused the old ones, which would kind of be a no-no. The inspection plate covers, they're all dirt. I can't see where any tool has been on them. So, you know, their text, though, said they were going to do that. It didn't actually say that we did that. But again, 18 hours of diagnostics on it. They were they couldn't get the computer to communicate with it. They were plugging into the DDEC computer, and it wasn't responding to them, so they were trying to find disconnected wires or a short or something like that. Once we got in there, we immediately saw what they were plugging into was the transmission port, not the engine port. We had to dig around and find the original connection, the plug for the DDEC for the engine. It was wire tied up down in the very bottom under a bunch of other stuff tucked up to the side on the floor. Clearly had never ever been read, not even once. It was like from the factory down there. We found it and pulled it out of there and then connected to it, and the computer instantly connected and talked to us. So they were plugged into the wrong thing. So I don't know how much time they invested in trying to get the computer to work, but they were just plugged into the wrong thing. That's unfortunate. As you'll see in this, we found multiple issues. I mean, they obviously, down on power, like the turbo would be something that you would inspect, and they never even looked at the turbo. They never looked at that crusty air filter that was in there. You know, because there was all kinds of dirt and, mud daubers' nests and stuff just laying in there. They wouldn't put that back together like that. So it just wasn't done. I think they were relying too heavily on the computer side of things instead of getting to the basics on it, which it ended up having some other, computer issues by the time we get done. You'll see in the video here. But anyways, that he reached out to the shop. I gave him a list of things that we did and what we saw and what we found right away. And they're giving him back, I think 75% of what he had paid, they're giving it back to him. I wanted to talk to the mechanic that did the work because it would have helped me stop from doing a couple things twice possibly, but apparently that was the guy's last week there. He no longer works there. He retired. So, maybe that's the only guy there that knew two-stroke sort of or something, or had even seen him. But he did a lot of things, like pulling the inspection covers. The engine's not smoking at all. Smoking is usually a sign of low compression or ring issues and things like that. I was definitely concerned that the engine might be dusted by looking at the condition of the turbo. But I was comforted by, once I saw it start up, how little smoke there was on startup. That was not the problem. So luckily, if that would have been left on there a lot longer, it would have got really, really bad. Who knows how many years that was there. The K&N filter was never serviced, but even if you service them properly on a two-stroke Detroit, you can't put those on there. They move too much air through them. That thing will never filter the correct amount of air. The reason those things work good is because they give you more horsepower, is because it's less restrictive. But that means that more small particles of dust and dirt get through them. There's just nothing that you can do about it. You need to have a regular air filter and a two-stroke Detroit. So anyways, we went through, we did everything. We placed the computer codes we had, for all the injectors and, the no turbo boost and all that. The first thing we did, we replaced the turbo. We doubled the boost with that, but then obviously we still had a problem. As you'll see in the video, it just goes on and on and on. It's every step of the way we kept finding this problem, that problem, and it just kind of compounded to where he's up good power now, and it's a whole different vehicle for him to drive. I think he's gonna be real happy with it. He's getting ready right now. I don't know if you can hear it running in the background. He's getting ready to go for a test drive right now, take it out on the interstate. He's gonna probably get about 60, 70 miles on it tonight, coming back to stay here, camp one more night. We're gonna give it a once over in the morning, leak check it and all that kind of stuff, and see where we're at. But I'm real confident it's gonna work out real good for him, and I'm happy he's getting money back from that other place. There's no reason to name shame him. I mean, I still, 100% refund would have been really nice, but that's, if he agreed to it, then that's an agreement, and that's fine with me. So everything's good to go with that, and hope you enjoy the video and see everything we got into on this. Here's $5,000 in new parts, as we have 8 new injectors, which he'll get a core charge back from him, but they were about $260 a piece. And then there's our new turbo, and that was about 2,000 bucks. New air filter, and we're gonna put the injectors in here this morning, and hopefully have this thing running later this afternoon. We'll see how it goes. Okay, Tyler's putting the first injector in here. All the new injectors in, hold down bolts are in and torqued.
Getting torqued.
The hold down bolts.
Oh, yeah, those are torqued.
So now he's doing the rockers and going to town. Well, I have 600 watts of solar for the Blue Eddy hooked up. So I upgraded my power station on the cart here to the Blue Eddy one. And you can charge it's got the wireless charging ports right on top. Just lay your cell phone on there and it charges. It's 2,000 watts, so I got another more wattage than my other one I had on there. And it's obviously 2,000 watt hours of storage too. But been charging all of our batteries on it here today. We ran the pressure washer off it the other day to wash the car. It's nice to have that much power available. And I really do like the wireless charging ports on top. Okay, I just pulled off the valve cover on the other side, the hard to get to side. And it has had a tune-up at some point in its life because somebody's marked it, the rockers with whatever they use. It's just kind of crazy stuff, but we're going to replace all those injectors and then do a tune-up. Okay, checking the tune-up on here. This is this 15 and 17 step. The 15 should fit in the exhaust valve and the 17 should not, and the whole thing just goes through like nothing. Same thing with this one. No resistance whatsoever. Well, I don't know if you can see it or not. Let me get a flashlight. Hold on.
Do you need one?
Yeah. Yeah. Oh shit! I have to be careful setting shit on top of these batteries.
There you go.
Okay. Let's see if I can get this. Sorry. Is loose all the way, rolled way down. See that? Can't keep timing like that. Crazy. They said the other shop removed the valve cover to inspect why it was down on power. I would have thought they would have at least checked for the tune-up situation on here. Clearly they didn't, because here's another cylinder where the 17 goes all the way in like nothing. I mean, I might be able to get two of them in there. I just not even see how much more gap there is under there. That's a crazy amount of play. So obviously they didn't check the tune on it, so maybe they were just looking for like a broken valve or something, but you know, they missed the one rocker that was all the way out of adjustment where the nut was loose and down at the bottom floating around. So I'm not really sure what they would have checked under here. Why they would need to pull the valve cover to check and see what was going on if they didn't actually check anything under here. But they did, I don't know. I'm sure I'll talk about it more about exactly the situation and what happened at another point in this video for you. So I'm charging pretty close to 400 watts of the 600 available right now. Not sure how old or how long it takes for a hose to turn into a pipe. That thing is hard. Okay, he's getting ready to pull the injectors over here on this side. So in Tyler's box, my favorite screwdrivers of his are these little stubbies that are snap-on, and they replace the stubby shank with a long shank. They come in really handy. I use them a lot every time I grab a screwdriver. That's the ones I kind of go to grab from his. So I just had the snap-on guy make me a set today. He had one on the cart, and he's going to make the Phillips one. He's going to make and bring next week. So, but it's just a nice little screwdriver, and you got the long shank on instead of the little one. I also had the snap-on guy verify the torque on my torque wrench, and everything's all good. No, the pry bar is a perfect tool for popping out injectors. Okay, Tyler's got all the new injectors in. I'm going to go through and set the timing on all of them and check the exhaust valve clearance as well as we go here. So hopefully this side. I can see it's been done before because you can see the marks on top of the rockers. I'm not really sure what they used to mark them when they did it because it was a real gritty, nasty stuff. Looks like it was a regular paint or something. It was really thick. Not sure if I can get a good texture on it. I don't want to disturb it if it's been on there, but we'll get this tune-up done, and then this side can go back together, and then the turbo can go back on. Look how dirty the turbo, the inlet is. Don't tell me a K&N air filter isn't good for it. I did stick a camera down in there and looked at the blower. It doesn't look the best, that's for sure, but hopefully with the new turbo we won't have any issues with that, and it's going to last a long time still. It's not passing, it's not oily, so, but it definitely has wear on it. It's not worth labor right now. Let's just get the boost fixed with the turbo and see where it's at. It's a bypass blower, so once it's running, the turbo's providing a heck of a lot more boost than the blower. Tyler had to crawl all the way up in over the backside to help me while I took everything off over here to get into that last cylinder. That last exhaust valve was really hard to reach, but he got in there with the crow's foot wrench and was able to loosen it up and help me adjust it. But that very last one was very hard to get, but of course the valves were off. Okay, the tune-up on there is done. One exhaust valve, one half of one cylinder's exhaust valve, so one rocker was set correctly. The rest of them were all off. They were either too tight or too loose. Most of them were too loose, but they were, again, all over the place. So got the tune-up completed on here. Get ready to just do a final cleanup on it and then get the valve cover put back on. One thing about Wanderlodges is they make a mess. You try not to touch the ceiling. They have this powdery insulation that falls down off of everything you touch, so you gotta be real careful. But for the most part, this is a really clean engine, so we haven't really had any big issues. But just finished setting the last exhaust valve on here, and we did the fuel injectors earlier. That's what we did first. They were all off, but we replaced them with new ones, so that's to be expected. So, but they weren't off the same, so they probably weren't correct either. But this is a hard side to get to. You got to completely tear the engine down to get to it. So I don't think it's been done in a long, long time. I know I can see that it's been done at one time because they put paint on there. Yeah, but it's this is a tough side to get to on these Wanderlodges, that's for sure. Looks like there's a little bit of an exhaust leak on that turbo clamp too. Okay, valve cover's back on this side and on that side, so we are making progress. My light flashlight stuck to the ceiling. Here's the new one. Much nicer looking. Okay, we're draining the oil out of here. He just had it changed, but they put the wrong oil in it. They put a 15W40 in here, which does not belong. And then we're just gonna, since it's a brand new filter, we're just gonna take the filter off and drain it and then put it back on. He literally just had it changed right before he came here, so. They must have used a wrench to put on this oil filter because it's got big gouges and scrapes and a circular pattern on it. You're not supposed to use a wrench to put them on. Hand tight. Okay, so we're replacing that. It's on there crooked, and when we went to move it, the clamp on the inside, it was spinning down here inside of itself and wouldn't loosen up. So we had to cut it off, and we're just replacing it because the old one wasn't on there straight. There you can see how crooked it was on there originally. It was just barely catching right there, and it kind of misshapened it then because of it. And we couldn't get it to reposition because that inner clamp, so we just cut it off and replaced it. Fuel here. The filter's already full, but we're injecting it through the lines now. Using a garden sprayer. Okay, we got it all primed up. We're flushing the coolant system on it here since we're changing kinds of coolant. So we filled it with water right now just to flush it out. But we're going to start it up here in just a minute and see how our turbo boost is.
Keep holding it through that?
Yes.
All right. There's our new pretty filter. Peel that sticker off of there. Okay, we're getting ready to take it for a test drive. As soon as he backs down the driveway here, we'll see. Got good turbo boost now, and more horsepower. New injectors, new turbo. Good air filter. Correct engine oil. Okay, turbo boost gauge. You know where it's at? Yeah, right here.
Okay. And what kind of boost?
Oh, I'm sorry. Boost is right there.
I will.
So we're at 0 at the moment.
Yeah, that's fine. What kind of boost did you used to get with it?
Typically getting 3.
Okay.
If I was going down a hill and flooring it, every once in a while I would get up to about 6 or 7.
Okay. The oil pressure gauge?
Oil pressure gauge actually is showing low at the moment.
Well, at idle, once it's warm, it hardly shows anything.
Okay. It was
once
showing
you bring
about
the
40.
RPM.
Now it's around, I would assume, like 8.
Yeah, that's fine. When we're going down the road, we should be above 40. It's probably closer to 60 usually.
Okay, cool.
And then, but it's all dependent on RPM. And then your coolant temperature gauge.
Yeah, water temperature I'm showing at 160.
Okay, those are the 3 gauges I'm going to have you watch the most on this trip. And then obviously your air pressure gauge, which we're good. We're over 100 probably.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, air pressure I'm showing at about 85.
Seems really low.
Does it?
Yeah.
Okay.
What does it normally go at when you go down the road?
About 85.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's actually sometimes when it revs and I'm not hitting the brakes, it'll get past 90, but not much further than that. And then tag axle is typically right around there.
Okay.
Sometimes it gets up to 75.
All right, well, let's pull out of here and we're going to go down and we'll make a left.
Yeah, already much faster than I've ever seen it.
How's our turbo boost doing?
Turbo's at 5 at the moment. Even it's idling a lot quieter too. A lot quieter. Nope.
It's definitely smoother.
No, we're not going to go down there, Pop. Sorry.
Right about now is where we'll find out how good you stowed everything away.
Yeah, exactly. Well, the kids helped, so, but they're getting pretty good at it. Sorry, girl, you can't go down there.
How's our turbo boost looking?
Turbo, we're still at 5. Looks like it's going up. Oil pressure is up near 60 now, just as I said. Alright, I'm full on now. Turbo, we're up near 6. Does it stay 2 lanes up there?
No.
It does, okay.
Yeah, have to back
I'll
off.
relax on it a bit then.
Speed limit drops to 30.
Okay.
How's it feel? More responsive?
It's definitely more responsive. Still feel a lack of power for sure, but it's a lot more responsive than it was.
Yeah, our turbo boost should be higher than what it is.
Okay.
We are going uphill right now, and it's accelerating uphill, which is impressive.
Yeah, definitely wasn't doing this before. Before I would be terrified about going up a hill like this.
We're going to go ahead and go just around the square, so you'll go straight through the lights. Straight through the first
We're at
light.
25 up here? I can't remember.
Yeah.
Still think
And then make a left at this light.
it's okay.
Turbo boosts.
Hit 6, constant at 5.
That guy's an asshole. Still hanging out around 6?
Yeah, hanging around 6 now. It might be up to 7. It's closer. Tack is at 20. Pressure and water temperature look good now.
You're moving here. It's
Yeah. Drop it a little bit.
it's out of its power band right now. If it downshifts, that would be good. There it goes.
Still dropping a bit.
Turbo boosts.
Turbo boost is at 6 still.
Yeah, we definitely should have climbed that hill a little better.
Yeah.
We do have a pretty sludged up filter, so we're going to replace that and see if we by chance get any more boost. Test drive number 2. There is no oil coming under the airbox drains, nothing like that. Let's hope this works. We have to pull out the ejector, but they were still down. So he pushes it up to the board. I love the paint on that thing. So he's doing absolutely great backing out of the driveway. He's not pumping his brakes like crazy, and he's going along at a pretty good clip. It's kind of a blind curve, you can't really see the end of it. So. Sounded good pulling away. Come down here.
Worked out well so far.
Showing any boost?
We're not showing any boost.
Okay.
Oil pressure's up to 61 pounds. What's your gas showing on boost?
Boost is at 5 on boost.
Yeah, we're showing none to the computer, so it is not wanting to ramp fuel in that thing. It's not seeing the boost.
Yeah.
So we need to figure out what's up with the manifold pressure sensor.
That's a good sign.
Yeah. I haven't seen a flicker at all. It's not seeing it.
So we had clearly knocked this little connector loose while we were installing the turbo. That's what sends the boost pressure reading to the computer, and the computer won't add enough fuel unless it sees the boost, so that was going to be a problem. So once we got that in, we're going to take it for a test drive here, and hopefully we'll be good to go.
It's going up higher though.
Yeah, wait a second.
You got the pedal all the way to the floor?
Yeah, I'm floored. What up, 9%?
What did that gauge get to over there? Almost 10?
Yeah.
It looked to be about 8%.
Still going up over here.
It's about 80 pounds, so it's not really showing on the gauge.
A little bump here.
on that ride, we noticed something when you had the pedal all the way to the floor. We never had a throttle position sensor reading above like 76%. So we're going to investigate that and see if there's something going on, like, if the carpeting's stuck underneath the pedal or if there's something wrong with the pedal.
Keep going, 41. Stop at where you think about 3/4 is.
I think that seems about right.
Okay, you're at 56, a little more. You're at 62, a little more.
Why do I have so many?
Keep going.
Of just
Keep going.
I'm maxed.
You're okay, so it's showing 74. Let all the way up.
Okay.
And slowly start pressing on it. I'm going to tell you when I start seeing throttle. I'm going to see if we get a dead zone in the beginning.
Okay.
Just give it a little bit of throttle, but barely any.
Seems like there's something down there.
I'm reading 10.2%, so you're barely on it.
You're barely on it. Yeah.
Okay, so it's reading at the bottom end.
All right, let's look around at
Oh,
this.
yeah, for sure.
So there was a piece of, I can't see what I'm doing here.
Yeah.
Rubber mat under the throttle pedal. Not allowing it. Now once we move that out of the way, the position sensor is telling us 100%. So that little piece of rubber on there, it was cut on 2 sides, but not on the 3rd side. That's under the factory installed carpeting. I don't know if this Wanderlodge ever had full throttle since it came new from the factory.
Okay, so now that we know that we can actually get throttle.
This will be a big difference.
I'm very excited.
Yeah, that last 25% of throttle is usually pretty good.
No, not today.
Just go ahead and floor it.
Get out here. All right, here we go.
Bad
that's
holes.
night and day difference. Oh man. All right.
Well, we made over 10
Wow.
pounds of burst there, and I heard the turbo actually spool.
I did too. That's the first time I've ever heard that.
Everyone in town's gonna be wondering why we keep driving back and forth.
We're showing off the
We're
tour
getting,
bus.
we're getting faster every time now.
That's true.
I felt noticeably different.
Yes, it did. Definitely would have helped to get here. Driving this way, I just kept seeing ways slipping backwards and backwards the whole time.
Okay.
Wow.
any objects for crouching and destruction.
How's it feel?
Feels way better. Night and day difference. I mean, I've never heard the engine sound like that. Or the turbo go.
It sounds very throaty now, yeah.
It does.
As you're heading into a 30-mile-an-hour speed limit.
Yeah,
It makes you want to go 65.
Well, you've never got to hear it roar before.
Yeah.
That's addicting the first time you hear it.
I'll save it for the street races.
I really do want to just take a day and rent a drag strip and get a bunch of people with their buses out there.
Dad, I'll ask you
That would be
again.
amazing.
It'd be the slowest race they've ever seen in their life, but it'd be so fun.
Dad, I'll ask you again. Do you think it's ready for the hill now?
Yes, absolutely.
Oh, that boost, that tailpipe or that muffler connection came undone too, Tyler. I think we'd know that.
Possibly.
It sounds louder though.
That sounds real throaty and nice.
Can I just say I love this truck, which appears to have dual side pipes, like shooting up at an angle.
Yeah, I see him.
I imagine that sounds good.
Stay to the left.
Getting pretty good at this hill.
Don't get overconfident. Oh yeah?
Make more torque than you at wide open at idle.
Yeah.
climbed the hill in last time?
Oh, it dropped way down. We were probably doing like 25 or something like that up that hill last time, weren't we?
Yeah, we crested it about that. It didn't matter what gear we were in, it just kept slowly dropping speed. So far, first gear has always saved me.
Yeah. Yeah,
After this little curve up here is when you're going to want to...
yeah, but we were already downshifting by here last time. Got the pedal to the floor.
Yep.
Running 15 pounds of boost right now.
Is that what the gauge over there is showing too?
Yeah, close over on 14.
We've lost 2 miles an hour so far.
Hell of a difference.
But it's holding right there.
It's probably right around peak torque. I don't know.
Never downshifted once there, so.
Now we're coming out.
You're gonna make that left right around this corner, so.
Ooh, love that sound.
You want to use a turn signal to let people behind you.
I was going to go with the second one, but
Oh. There's a
well, it
turn.
makes it easier to go this way and then out.
Oh.
What? Why?
That's it.
Why would you?
That was from our second flushing of the radiator. Well, we fixed the exhaust leak. So came out of the muffler. Got the reclamp on there. Just finishing the coolant change after flushing twice. Still have coolant running it right now, circulating it. We're getting rained down. Can't wait to get to shop.